Joining us now, Ernesto Sampson. Ernesto was running for the Republican nomination for House of Delegates in the 72nd District. That is in the Henrico area. This is a Republican-held seat for the retiring Jimmy Massey, who we think is going to run for U.S. Senator. And he's had it with the whole thing. There's two candidates in the race, Eddie Whitlock, who is the favorite, and Ernesto Sampson. And we had Eddie on last week. Ernesto, good to have you with us.
Good morning, John. How are you today?
Okay, so everybody is telling me, look, Whitlock, done deal. He is the committee, chairman of Henrico. He did this, he did that. He ran for U.S. He ran for state Senate, and it's a done deal. Mail it in. Tell me why that's not true.
Well, that's not true because my campaign has been out and working very hard over the past couple of weeks since we announced that we wanted to run. We've been going door to door, and we've been hearing a slightly different message. And I think as the campaign continues to go on, we will get out there and talk to as many folks as possible and sway those voters that may have said they wanted to go with the other candidate to be on our side, because we have a great story to tell, and we know that we will do a good job.
What is the story, Ernesto?
Well, the story is I'm a self-made person. I grew up in a single-family, single-mother household. My mother raised me to work hard, and through those times, I graduated from VMI with a degree in economics, as well as starting my own business here in Henrico, where I serve over 200 clients that are small business owners and small families. I've been involved with the Republican Party for about 17 years, and I've done everything in the party from putting up signs late at night to working on campaigns.
Now, wait a minute, Ernesto, you didn't tell me you were a VMI guy.
Yes,
now,
sir.
That's a game changer right there, don't you think?
Well, VMI treats us to be citizen soldiers. So
That's right.
The first thing that I've been doing since I got out of VMI was serving the community. I've served in several community organizations, helping out one organization that helps build low to moderate income housing for people in the greater Richmond area.
All right. Well, you might not know this, but I do the pre and post game VMI football shows for the VMI radio network, and Keydets open next season in September at the Air Force Academy. So we get to go to Colorado Springs. So that's going to be fun. So a special place in my heart for VMI grads. Let's get to some specifics.
Robert Virginia Mill.
There you go. Let's get to some specifics. Ed Gillespie, the front runner for the Republican nomination for governor, has come out with a 10%, basically across the board personal income tax reduction in Virginia state income tax. How do you stand on that and why?
I do believe that we need to reduce the tax burden for the citizens of the Commonwealth of Virginia. Over the past few years, as the economy has slowed down, I've seen so many people that are just being hit with more and more taxes. I had a client the other day that's 87 years old and she told me that she had to pay $3,000 in taxes. Now, that's just ridiculous. So I believe that we need to reform our tax system to get more money into individuals' pockets so they can spend that money in the Virginia economy that will help boost jobs and spur more businesses.
All right, Atlantic Coast Pipeline, are you in favor or not? It's going to go right through part of your district.
I am. I believe that we need to have that in place, and I would support that.
All right. Several legislators in the General Assembly, Ernesto, have called for a reevaluation of the 2015 Frank Wagner Dominion Power rate deal. Wagner says, wait a minute, we made a deal. Rates are down. What are you complaining about? Others like Chap Peterson are saying, no, that was based on the Clean Power Bill, which is dead under Trump. Should we stay with the deal? Or if you were in the House of Delegates, would you be in favor of reopening the negotiations and scrapping it?
I'm in favor of the deal, but I would look at it a little bit more in detail just to make sure that we're doing the right thing for the citizens of the Commonwealth.
Let's get to Medicaid expansion. We've had this fight over and over and over. I was not in favor of it. I thought expanding Obamacare made no sense. the system was going to collapse, basically. But now, Ernesto, look, even Ryan Care, or as I called it, crony care that the Republicans put in to replace Obamacare, had funding the Medicaid expansion for states that had it almost in perpetuity. And actually, Virginia, that resisted it, got punished with a lower block grant. How do you stand on Medicaid expansion going forward now that basically the game has changed?
I don't believe that we should be expanding Medicaid here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. As you know, for every dollar that we accept, that's going to put us on the hook for even more dollars down the road. As the Virginia economy continues to grow, we want it to grow at a faster pace than it is now, and I think adding more burdens to us will hinder that growth.
Let's get to hospital policy. COPN, I know you're familiar with that, having been a candidate in the past, the Certificate of Public Need. There's several in the House of Delegates that want to repeal or pare back COPN, saying that it's going to open up competition for hospitals and lower costs. There's others like me who say, well, the healthcare is not a free market business. You can go into the emergency room and they're going to fix you up and send you home. And if you don't pay anything, you don't pay anything. You're not going to get turned away. And that would hurt rural hospitals because companies would come in and cherry pick only the more profitable services. But this is a raging debate, and the House is about equally divided on it. If you were in the House of Representatives, would you be in favor of repealing COPN, Certificate of Public Need, or not?
I would say that I wouldn't be in favor of repealing it at this time. I think it is in place, and I think it's a good measure.
Okay, so you would not be in favor of repeal of COPN?
Correct.
Okay. Let's get to Go Virginia and how this money is allocated. This is another debate going on in the House of Delegates now about, we're looking at, for instance, revitalizing coal in Southwest Virginia. Terry Kilgore, who would be one of your colleagues, is saying, let's take the $500,000 that the General Assembly has allocated to economically help Southwest Virginia get more businesses in around their coal industry. And he wants the money to go directly to the local areas that would back it. There's another group led by Tommy Norment, majority leader, that says, no, all this money should go through Go Virginia. They're set up to handle it. So should it be Go Virginia? Should it be locally? That debate's still going on. How do you stand on that? Or even do you care?
Right now, I think that we should have the money go through Go Virginia with the impact that the federal budget has had on the Virginia economy and cutting all of the services and things that we can provide the business leaders in Virginia. I think this gives us a great opportunity to make sure that the funds get to where they need to be to help grow the businesses and support coal in Southwest Virginia and other parts of Virginia.
All right, if you get in the House of Representatives, Ben Klein is going to put this bill in for probably the third time. It's probably going to get out of committee. Ben Klein, House of Delegates member, Republican from the Lynchburg area, he wants to ban red light cameras. Like, ban them. They're out, they're gone. Have a good day. People are getting screwed by them. Governments shake you down, etc. That's his view. But then law enforcement comes in and says, oh, no, we need them. And then, of course, the municipality lobby, Ernesto, comes marching in. And they say, well, no, wait a minute. We need these red light cameras because we're making millions and millions of dollars in our budget. Can't take that money away. So if that got to the floor and you were in the House of Representatives, red light cameras or no red light cameras, that actually could come up next session, Ernesto Sampson, would you hit the red light camera button or the no red light camera button?
Well, I would have to see what's all in the bill for the red light cameras. Initially, I would say I'm against having the red light cameras, but I would have to see what bill hit the floor.
That's a pretty good answer. That's a pretty honest answer. Okay, Ernesto, being you know the issues and you're on a roll, let's keep going with this. We're having a great conversation. So, Chap Peterson, state senator, railing against law enforcement scanning license plates in parking lots for personal liberty reasons. He wants this practice banned. So this is what happened. You park your car in a garage or in a parking lot, and law enforcement come in, scan all the plates, and run all the plates and see if anybody's up for anything. Some people say, well, that's a complete violation of your rights because cops should be scanning your plate unless you've done something wrong. Law enforcement says, this is how we catch people that owe us money for parking tickets, or maybe they're a bad guy and we found them. But you think about it, this is a pretty big issue in personal liberty, because the way it works now is if I'm driving down the road and I'm doing nothing wrong, I cannot be stopped. I just can't be stopped because they don't like the bumper sticker on my car or they have a hunch. I can't be stopped. I have to go over the line, not put my blinker on. But what law enforcement is saying is, we'll just scan your plate and see if there's anything out there. Throw the crap up against a proverbial wall. If that bill came up and you were in the House, what would be your position on it?
Well, I would agree. I believe that's against our personal liberties. If I'm doing something wrong, or you suspect that I'm doing something wrong, or you suspect anyone else is doing something wrong, then by all means, I believe the police and law enforcement have the authority to scan plates. But to arbitrarily just go through a parking lot and scan plates just to see what happens, I just don't think that's appropriate. So I would be against that.
Ernesto Sampson coming down on the side of liberty over authority. Well, you're not going to get Dr. Joe's vote, I can tell you that, because Dr. Joe always sides with the corporate elitists and the authority figures. Just an inside joke. All right, got one more. Tell me the defining position of your campaign. Like, if somebody was going in to vote right now and they're like, Ernesto Sampson, Eddie Whitlock. Eddie's a really nice guy. Ernesto Sampson. What's the defining issue here? Why should people vote for Ernesto Sampson and not Eddie Whitlock? Why?
I would say the number one objective of our campaign is to attract more businesses to the Virginia, to the Commonwealth. We want to cut back on regulations that are keeping companies from expanding or moving to Virginia. We have low unemployment numbers, but those numbers are a little fuzzy. We actually have more people that are underemployed. So by attracting more businesses and cutting those regulations, I believe that we will be able to attract new businesses as well as get more Virginians working in the jobs that they are qualified for.
All right, now I'm going to ask you the $64,000 question, Ernesto. Ready? If you get elected to the House of Delegates, are you going to play basketball for the House team?
Well, you know, there is another famous Sampson from Virginia.
Twin Towers.
A little shorter. So,
Ralph Sampson.
Maybe I'll be a good coach or a good water boy.
I'll take that as a no. Eddie Whitlock, I don't think he's going to be playing either. So, look, part of my job is to help out Chris Jones by trying to make sure we get better basketball players on his team. Ernesto, thank you. We're out of time today. I want to thank you for your answers and for your candor. People want more info. Where do they go?
You can go to SampsonForDelegate.com. Last name is spelled S-A-M-P as in Paul, S-O-N. Or they can visit my Facebook page, which is Ernesto Sampson for Delegate. All
right. Ernesto, thanks for being with us. We'll be following your campaign. We will have you back. This is the John Fredericks Radio Network. If you want the truth, we're trucking it.